Saudi Arabia's hostile takeover of major sporting events has come with its fair share of controversies. The more power Saudi wants to wield in the sporting world, the more backlash they tend to receive. Protesters and those who strictly stand against the Saudi shopping spree in the sporting world call this sports washing. But the new tool Saudi is using to cover up any shred of controversy that may crop up along the way is throwing money. Take the Six Kings Slam tournament in Riyadh, for instance, an exhibition tennis tournament that featured some of the biggest names: Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Rafael Nadal and Daniil Medvedev. The winner, of course, was Jannik Sinner, and he took home a crazy $6 million. That is the most in tennis history. Apart from Sinner, all the remaining participants were reportedly promised $1.5 million. Now, the prize money is a shocking amount because none of the major slams will come anywhere close to this amount. In 2024, Jannik Sinner won $3.6 million and $2.1 million after he clinched the US Open and the Australian Open titles. A total of $5.7 million, which still falls short of what Sinner earned in Riyadh for an exhibition event. Carlos Alcaraz won a total of $6 million this year after he won Wimbledon and the French Open. But the point I'm trying to make is you need to win at least 2 Grand Slams to have matched what just 3 days of work in Riyadh amounted to. Sinner had to work hard, play multiple rounds of 2 Grand Slams over 2 weeks each to still end up earning less than what Riyadh ended up giving him. Prize money for 2024 season as far as slams were concerned for Sinner was doubled in a matter of 3 days. If you put it this way, you've got to admit it's an appealing aspect for any sports person. The truth is, no matter how big a sports person is, the average career span for any athlete is about 20, maybe 25 years, and I'm being generous here, 35 to 40-year-old, depending on the sport, of course. So the purpose is to make as much money as possible while they're still playing competitive sport. For Rafael Nadal, for example, he's on the verge of retirement, just announced his last game, in fact. Novak Djokovic, again, last phase of his career as well. So a lucrative Riyadh offer is something very few can actually refuse, which is understandable. They're thinking about life after retirement. What this does is that it shifts focus from the controversy surrounding the sport itself in Saudi. I'll explain. Saudi attracted the biggest names in tennis through this tournament. One of the interesting points to note, the timing of it all. In less than 2 weeks, Riyadh is set to host a women's tennis tournament, the WTA Finals, the prestigious one, an event which has seen massive backlash. Former tennis stars like Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova have outright condemned this move, owing to human rights issues that Saudi is docked with. Now, despite all the red flags, though, Saudi has managed to bag the rights to host the next 3 editions of the WTA Finals. Reason? The crazy cash prize it has to offer. Last year, WTA Finals that was held in Cancun, Mexico, offered a total cash prize of $9 million. This year, Saudi has agreed to offer $15.25 million. That's a massive difference in price. Now, once again, Saudi silenced the criticism with the glint of the dollars. So this starry exhibition event with that whopping prize money that Sinner has gleefully taken home was timed perfectly to draw all attention to what is possible, rather than the backlash Saudi is trying to fight. Clearly, for tennis governing body, the sport benefiting is a far greater gain than sports washing. It isn't just tennis that is witnessing this pattern. Take football. In 2021, Saudi's Public Investment Fund, or the PIF, took over English football club Newcastle. Now, the Premier League and the UK government policies forbid the involvement of government intervention in any way in sporting decisions. PIF, though, is a platform that is used to invest on behalf of the Saudi government because it is controlled by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. But the $400 million Newcastle takeover went through after the Premier League were reportedly given a legally binding assurance that Saudi state wouldn't be controlling Newcastle. But now leaked messages suggest that the deal went through only because of the involvement of bin Salman, as he was the one signing off on all of the key decisions. The deal is now set to be re-examined by the UK government because of this leak. The Premier League, though, is reportedly holding its ground. that the Saudi government never really influenced any of these decisions. The English football's governing body says there is no need for any investigation, and given the massive takeover, it's a little unlikely that the ownership will be revoked at this point. Because Saudi's money has certainly benefited the Premier League. Newcastle's rise has meant English football got another club to leverage and attract star players, which only means more sponsorship deals and more TV rights, ticketing sales going up. It isn't just club football where Saudi has taken over. Even at the international stage, Saudi is making giant strides. Saudi Aramco, the country's national oil company, was announced as a worldwide partner with FIFA earlier this year. Because of the deal, Saudi will hold sponsorship rights for the 2026 men's and the 2027 women's World Cups. But this deal has faced severe flack as more than 100 women footballers from around 24 countries have signed an open letter addressed to FIFA. The letter urges the governing body to end the deal because of Saudi's stance of women's rights and the human rights issues, of course. The value of the Aramco deal was not disclosed, but it is likely to be the richest ever for FIFA, considering Aramco reportedly made a profit of $121 billion just last year. So will FIFA take any action on this letter? Because it isn't just this deal that FIFA needs to think about. Saudi Arabia is also set to host the 2034 Men's FIFA World Cup. Because of these major deals, FIFA is getting the financial gains to run the sport on a larger scale. FIFA clearly sitting on very shaky ground because on one hand is the moral obligation that any governing body needs to uphold, and the other, financial gains that go into benefiting the running, the growth, and the development of sport across the world. Saudi has attracted major stars like Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, Neymar, Sadio Mane through mega contracts. And when stars like Ronaldo end up praising Saudi and its footballing culture, it leaves an impact. If these players are endorsing Saudi football, it immediately positions the country as the new hub for the sport. Saudi's objective is clear. They are trying to quash all voices, all protests, by the show of money and the promise of a better future for sports and the sports persons. But how long can this vision run its course?
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.